Surprise! That was a roller coaster of emotions. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek. You're watching Kevin the Geek. We're nearly at the end of the first season of Ted Lasso. This is episode 9. All apologies. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. We're on our way to 100 subscribers. Please help me to get there. I love all of your support on the channel. Please do smash a like on the video. It really does help the algorithm. It helps people see my videos because I put a lot of work into them. I'm not going to lie. It's an incredible journey and I've loved every minute of it, and I want all of you to continue on with me because, of course, we'll be starting Season 2 soon. Season 3 is going to get released, hopefully very soon. So, loads of Ted Lasso content, and amongst loads of other things as well. So, Episode 9, All Apologies. Now, probably an apology for myself, first of all, because at the end of the last review, I actually missed quite a crucial component. Of course, at the end of the last episode, Keeley came into the office after Higgins had walked out and quit on Rebecca. Keeley walks in, and Rebecca was quite happy to see her for a brief moment, because Keeley found the photographs taken back all the way in episode 2 of Keeley and Ted. And Keeley has realised that Rebecca was the one behind the photographs. And she gives Rebecca an ultimatum. You tell Ted or I'll do it for you. So that puts everything into motion for this episode. And you start off with a really lovely scene between Ted and Rebecca. And they're just having a normal bit of a normal morning chit chat. And, you know, Rebecca's having a photo shoot for, some sort of football magazine. And Keeley comes in and is surprised that Rebecca still hasn't told Ted. So they go off, they have a little chat, and they have a really nice dynamic. And I love the fact that Keeley is, because she's obviously had such a great friendship with Rebecca develop over the last few episodes. I like the fact that she's not just being really horrible to her and they're going to end the relationship there. She knows that she's done a bad thing and there's probably reasons behind it, but you can just make an apology, you can move on, and everything be all good again. So I like that kind of dynamic that they have there. And Rebecca does go to tell Ted. And what I love is that she's so uncomfortable and so kind of guilt-ridden that she can't quite bring herself to do it. And she ends up being a little bit like Ted, that she goes to talk to him and she ends up procrastinating and even trying to work out the etymology of the word procrastinating, which was just really funny scene to watch how uncomfortable she is and how she, this woman who's normally so self-assured and confident and to the point and direct, that she can't quite put into words, and tell Ted the bad things that she's done to him over, the previous 8 episodes. But the biggest thing I love is that she does tell him, and very quickly and very soon after. Because pretty much the moment that Ted leaves the office after, she says to him, can we do this a little bit later? To try and give herself some time, some breathing space to try and work out the words and how to say it. In comes, within moments, Rupert. And Rupert is just as much of a jackass as he normally is. And he drops a bigger bombshell on than he did in the last episode. Yes, he's engaged to this new Rebecca, but they're also having a baby. So, of course, he's in his twilight years, so Bex is, really, really young, but Rupert's going to be quite old when he actually has the baby. Basically, by the time his child reaches adult age, he's basically going to be, either just before his 90s or in his 90s. But it's a real interesting dynamic. But Rupert is just a jackass, once again. And he rubs it in Rebecca's face and really hits home. And basically, Rebecca asks, basically says, you never wanted kids. And Rupert comes back and says,
I do want a child. I suppose I didn't want one with before. I mean, in the end, it's just about being with the right person, isn't it?
and this shakes up Rebecca so much, it gives her the emotional weight to actually go and tell Ted exactly what she's done. And just the pain and raw emotion you see on her face is just wonderfully portrayed by Hannah Waddingham. She shows every little thing. And like I said, she's always so self-assured and such a strong character that you do feel very emotional. You may not like Rebecca as a character because of how blunt and direct she is, but seeing her in this emotional state it's a hard watch. It's wonderfully directed, wonderfully acted, wonderfully written. But the great thing is, after all that is said and done, Ted just gets up and he says,
I forgive you.
You what? Why?
Divorce is hard. And it doesn't matter if you're the one leaving or if you're the one who got left. It makes folks do crazy things. Hell, I'm coaching soccer, for heaven's sake, in London. I mean, that's nuts. Yeah. But this job you gave me has changed my life. It gave me the distance I needed to see what was really going on. Yeah, but you and me, we're okay.
and that just goes to show what a huge difference it is between Rupert and Ted. Because had it been the other way round, Rupert probably would have held it over his head. He probably would have either quit or done something back to Rebecca. But Ted knows that relationships are difficult. He's had to go through his own tough time recently and knows that sometimes when you're going through that bad time, you're going to say or do some bad things. And this just solidifies their friendship that has been just subtly building over the last maybe 3 episodes or so. Such a powerful scene. And this is, I think in a way, it's quite frustrating for me because I've watched, Ted Lasso season 1 and 2 repeatedly since I first watched this show. And this is the episode in season 1 that I always tend to skip over a little bit because I get season 8 and then I want to skip straight to the finale. And I feel that that does this episode a real injustice. This is such a great episode and I feel bad that I constantly skip it. So I have to apologise to Ted Lasso. This episode is all about apologies. But once Rebecca has apologised to Ted, there's one more person she needs to apologise to. And that's Higgins. And again, they just have a lovely, heartfelt, sincere moment. And quite a few jokes about Higgins' new facial hair, which I'm not going to lie, I quite dug. I thought he looked, well, as he said, chill. Having Higgins back, like, I don't believe that I could cope with this show if Higgins wasn't around because he's like the father of the group. He's the man with so much wisdom and experience, and he doesn't let anyone get to him. He just gets on and does it. I tell you what, I've just had a sudden thought because we presume at some point in season 3 someone's going to have some words said to Nathan. I wonder if it will be Higgins. And I'll tell you what, if it is, those will be some interesting words. But finally, the last thing to talk about with this episode was the whole situation between Ted and Roy. Now, Ted is all about man management. Coach Beard and also Nate are basically, they are tactics management. So I really do understand that Ted is so focused on trying to make sure that Roy is, he feels good, and he doesn't want to let him down. But Beard and Nathan, they have to think about the bigger picture, and from a tactics point of view, Roy just isn't able to do what he used to do, and he's a liability to the team. Now, Ted's comments from, episode 3, Trent Crim the Independent, they finally come back around, where he says, success is not about the wins and losses. It's about helping people. And this is the first time that you actually see Coach Beard snap.
And you know better than anyone that all this ain't about winning to me, because that ain't how we measure success, right?
Damn it, it is!
Hey, who put a firecracker up your butt and lit it?
You did! I'm sick of it. Look, I understood this mission. We were in Kansas, but those were kids, and these are professionals, and winning does matter to them. And it matters to me. And that's okay. Ain't that right, May?
Hey, fucking minute is.
How do you not get it? Losing has repercussions. We lose, we get relegated. We get relegated, this is over, and we will have built nothing. And if you want to pick a player's feelings over a coach's duty to make a point, I don't want to drink with someone that's selfish.
Again, this is such an important scene for them. And also the one a little bit earlier, before they have this, when Ted is at the side of the pitch during training, and he tries to tell a joke to both Coach and to Nate, and they move away from him because they don't feel he's respecting them as coaches by listening to them. So when Beard just comes at him and tries to drill home into Ted the importance of listening to them and thinking more tactically rather than necessarily man management, that is great, because Ted on his own would have failed a long time ago. Coach Beard is the brains behind the two of them from a tactics point of view. But they are two sides of the coin, because again, I don't think Coach Beard would have succeeded if it wasn't for Ted. So it's really important that they work together as a dynamic and they come together. So that was all handled really well. And it's really difficult to see Roy in this situation, because he knows, he just won't admit it, that he is basically a liability. But for him, because he's grown up, obviously we know that from the age of 9 he went from London to Sunderland, and he joined an academy up there. He has basically been in football for the last 30 years, and probably a little bit more so obviously when he was a bit younger than that, even more so. So it's all he knows. And I don't think a lot of people who are not involved in sports really appreciate the difficulty of what it's like when you have to retire, because eventually all of them have to at some point. Different sports, they will be at different ages. Some sports, like a non-contact sport like snooker or pool, can be much later. But if it's football or track and field or rugby or American football or whatever, you're probably going to be somewhere probably between your 30s and your 40s. But when you've been involved in that all your life, and that's pretty much all you know, it's a hard thing to let go. And Keeley does the most important thing, because the most important person in Roy's life is Phoebe, his niece. And she calls Phoebe over and asks her to say everything she can think about her Uncle Roy. And Phoebe says,
well, he's my uncle. His beard is scratchy. He buys me ice cream. He swears a lot. He's really funny. And I love him.
So look, A, this is just a beautiful little scene. But also, it's a way to try and suggest to Roy, look, at the end of the day, there will be life beyond football. You might do something within football, you might do something completely non-football related. But you will find your way. because football is not all that you are. So another wonderful episode of Ted Lasso. And then it's going to bring us to the finale. That is the hardest episode really to watch. And I'm not looking forward to rewatching it in order to do this review. So as you know, I do different weekly episodes of different kind of things. Every Wednesday we do Doctor Who. Every Thursday we do Ted Lasso. So if you don't want to miss any of my content, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're getting close to 100 subscribers. And I really would love to get there. And I need your help to do so. So please do subscribe. And click that notification bell so you know when all my videos go live. My name's Kevin. I'm a geek. And you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.